brighter day. And the ones that are doing fine, God bless you because you're doing fine. At the end of the day, don't forget about me. As days turn to weeks and weeks turn to years, oh, I feel for my brother.
All right, y'all. It's the One Night Show. I'm just giving you a little time to sign into the room and share alike. We are here at 4 o'clock. Yes. And share. Yes. Okay. I'm going to go the other direction, too. I wonder how this works. And everything that I said never seemed to get into your head. I tried to do the right thing, living my life with the words that I sing. Now tell me, I wanted to know what happened to my best friend. As days turn to weeks and weeks turn to years, I feel for my brother. Feel for my brother. And as time passes by, I see you're not satisfied. Oh, I feel for my brother. Feel for my brother. I miss you, man. You're my brother. I said I love you, babe. I won't forget you, no. Oh, no, no. Oh, no, no. Sometimes I feel life is cheap. Everything's disposable and so are we. Can you hear me? Life is real, yeah. Yeah, if there's a heaven above, please start showing a brother real love. 'Cause I wanna go home. Oh, I feel for my brother. I miss you, man. Oh, I feel for my brother. You're my brother. I feel for my brother. Oh, no, no. Feel for my brother. I wanna go home. I feel for my brother. I won't forget you, no. I feel for my brother. I feel for my brother. I feel. Oh, I feel for my brother. I feel for my brother. Oh, I feel for my brother. All right, y'all, we're going to hit the button. You know, a lot of my Yep, and we are here.
hanging on the block a little too long.
Just making sure I go the other direction. One night you're hitting one night you're.
And the ones that are doing fine, God bless you because you're doing fine. At the
All right,
end of
y'all.
the day, don't forget about me.
Time for me to go to work. Yep, once again, I want to welcome to the One Night Show. We do this show every Sunday at 4 o'clock, and I know we're running a little bit late today. I know that, but it took a little time. We had to get some things going. We had some guests that basically kind of popped up that we're going to add to the show today. You know, it's entertainment, y'all. That's how it goes. Right now, the weather in New York is about 90 degrees. It's sunny, and it is humid out there. So you guys want to make sure that you stay hydrated. That's for sure. Hey, what's up, Kim Tyree? I see you in the building right there, off the cuff. Hi, Kings.
And then she goes, and Queen Saundrea.
When they call it for me, you got to crack my mic.
Yeah, we rocking and rolling, y'all. So you might have noticed what happened, right? There's 2 streams going to the One Nighter page. Hold that real quick. There's 2 streams going to the One Nighter page. So one, you can see the video, and one, you can't see the video. So
Okay. We gotta. When I turn?
yeah.
Okay.
So that's kind of that deal. All right. Just want to let y'all know what's happening.
Hey, Cam. Hey, Marvin, my brother.
Kim Tyree in the place. Yeah, looking good. All right, so now we got that going.
All right.
1, 2, 3, and bang.
Ooh, every time I turn, huh?
Yeah, every time you turn, you put the headphones into the mic. You do that.
Yeah, it
That
does
kind of a
what it
thing.
do, yeah.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah.
Once it's feedback. Welcome to entertainment, people. Yeah, the One Nighter Show. 4 o'clock. We started today at about 4:15. So it took a minute, but my week, Saundrea, has been going well.
What you did? Talk to me.
I'm in a mix of building a recording studio, and the last piece actually got delivered today.
Okay. This is the studio in your home.
Yeah, it's the studio in the crib.
All right.
So the last piece got delivered today. So I'm gonna go and now assemble it, put everything together. You know, I have the computers and everything. Everything is ready to go.
Soundproof room and all?
Yeah, room has been soundproofed. You know, because I want to be able to, I mean, one of the reasons why I'm doing it is because I want to be able to produce music for the shows, that we have our own stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's publishing free. We don't have any problems with Facebook or
get muted.
YouTube. Yeah, exactly. So that's one of the reasons. The other reason, because
they notorious for that.
For sure. And I'm the president of the label Hip Hop Boulevard.
Okay.
/ Sony Orchard. So we're working on an album right now, and I wanted to have a place that I could record and mix records, and that's kind of been my week. Oh, the school thing.
Yeah, how's that going?
That's going really good. Big shout out to PS354 podcast, the Busy Bee podcast that they do every Friday.
Okay.
This is the 3rd and 4th graders, and what we're doing is we're teaching them how to broadcast.
Nice.
Right. So it's called the course is called the Introduction to Broadcasting. And it's these 4th graders and 3rd graders. And what's so crazy about that is you can see that they're really interested. And I mean, some of them are like, I'm going to be a journalist, you know, and we teach them different jobs. We teach them the Rodecaster Pro. So they have, matter of fact, they have exactly what we have in the studio in their school.
Awesome.
So we teach them the Rodecaster Pro. So one person's the engineer. Then we have 2 microphones. One person's the interviewer. The other one's the interviewee. And we really do a whole program. So
building leaders.
Yeah, we're building leaders. And it's teaching them public speaking, which is really important. So big shout out to Principal Askew and PS354 in Queens.
Amazing.
What you got going?
So my week, of course, was blessed and busy as usual. On Monday, I did some door knocking with the candidate, and also I worked on some Dear Neighbor letters for a few candidates, which was distributed already, and by their staff. And there'll be some more letters coming out this week, so I won't divulge the candidates' names, but they're people I'm backing like 100%. I'm gonna jump into Wednesday. UES for BLM was our 1-year anniversary, which was very well attended. Shout out to Kim Tyree, who was there, Lakeisha Taylor for coming through. Marvin, I guess, was actually a key speaker too at our vigil one Sunday, some months back last year. So, yeah. So Thursday, I went to support Marvin, Mayfield, and all of them that are backing the Clean Slate. They had a Clean Slate rally throughout New York State at Foley Square and other parts of New York State. So that was good. And I actually did a quick interview with him for the One Nighter podcast. So anybody can scroll through the pages and find it, or we could probably push it out again. And that was great. And he's here today, and you'll hear from him shortly. Thursday evening, I was a panelist at Attendance Rights Town Hall hosted by Council Member Ben Kalos and other elected officials. The public advocate was also there. Of course, when he shows up, he only speaks and he bounces. Sadly, he never stays on, even on his own, shows or town halls he does. He'll speak and he leaves.
Yep.
And that's like, I can't understand that. But anyway, that's him. On Friday, jumping into Friday, the Homes Access Coalition, we had a virtual court appearance. As y'all know, we sued NYCHA on December 13th of 2019 in HP Action, which is a housing parts lawsuit, if anybody doesn't know what HP stands for. And our case is actually still going strong. But it's been a long time, and we really would like to see something, settle. Yes, a settlement, some kind of settlement that, would be appreciated by all the residents that are living in these inhumane conditions. I'm going to jump into Saturday now, moving. I attended a funeral of, I'll just shout out the Crawford family, the Horton family, Lennon family, and all of them. I attended their Auntie Lois service, and when I was there, it was good today. I spoke a little bit, and then when the organist, the pastor that eulogized the service, when he got on the organ, I was like, "What you about to play?" And he said, "What you want to sing?" And I said, "Going Up Yonder." That's my song. So I wound up singing at the service. So that was a blessing for the family, for me to do that for them. And then at 1:00, the Homes Access Coalition hosted our bi-weekly food distribution. And we were blessed to have Manhattan District Attorney candidate Alvin Bragg, who I personally endorsed. He came out actually to serve as well, but we had enough manpower. So he got to meet the people, and that was a really highlight of my day. And then, I did my normal vigil visit, and, hosting that. And then that evening, I got a text from Adrian, which is Congresswoman Carolyn Maloney's press secretary. And she was like, "Are you around this evening?" And I was like, "Well, I'm here now and I'll be back at 8:30. So they set up to come around at 8:30. She said, "The council member want to come visit you and say hi." She said, "I hadn't seen you in a while," right? Yeah. So, okay, I'm like, cool. So I toured her through the developments, Isaac and Holmes, and she took selfies with residents. She talked to a lot of them. She went to the park where they were going to do the infill, where it was slated in 2015. That was a 4-year fight for us. She was part of that. We were out there. She was happy to see that. And one of the funniest things was all the youth, the young men out there were very respectful to her. They did the elbow bump and so forth. But one young brother said, "Hey, lady, you in the hood after dark." I was rolling. But with that said, I was like, she's an OG. You don't know Congresswoman Carolyn Maloney. She is fearless. So shout out to her. Give her something. We had her on our show. And I'm jumping into today. My youngest, Labor Pain, Jalen, he went back, him and my daughter in love, they went back to Rochester today. They left about 5 a.m. So I was up with them, prayed him safe travels. And today is the 370th consecutive day of, UES for BLM. So we're gearing up for our 400th day. And I know the June 2nd, we had our actual 1-year anniversary, which was amazing. Also, that was Wednesday. Yep. And my granddaughter Shayla's coming today to hang out with me for about a week. So that's that. That's my week. So I'll be busy. I'll be dragging her around with me. She's 10.
Wow, that's great. That's great.
So Stan?
You love that. Hold on.
That's good stuff.
You gotta hit the button, baby.
Yeah,
come on.
Good stuff.
How was your week, Stan?
How'd it go, Stan speaking?
Well, actually, today is my birthday. So I'm a little older.
Wait, you ready? Wait, no, don't ask me to do it. You ready, Rob?
Okay.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to you.
You.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Stan. Happy birthday to you. All right. Okay, so when we did it for Mike, you were the hype man. Today, can you take that down, brother? Like we live.
Turn the volume down.
Take the volume down, But funny. Like you had it hype when I sung for.
I was looking for the beat.
Right, I know. We're gonna close it out the right way, okay?
I love the beat.
I felt like singing today.
I know. You let everybody know you skilled.
I could do something.
Yeah, you could do something. Go ahead, Stan. Tell us.
Well, actually, I'm a little tired today. I participated in a Black Lives Matter march yesterday, and we marched from Foley Square all throughout Manhattan, through Chinatown, and ended up in, I guess, Washington Square Park.
Okay.
You know, and we stopped traffic. We caused a lot of noise out there. We had drummers and all of that. You know, so it was really good to see that. You know, I'm very proud of the young people that was out there. You know,
Who organized it?
I think it was on DSA.
Okay.
The New York City DSA. I'm not sure which chapter. You know, but there's a lot of those folks out there.
Sounds good.
And we were talking about sort of merging these two movements. You know, there's a tenant and NYCHA housing movement. There's a Black Lives Matter movement. You know, and then there's a homeless movement. So we're trying to eventually get all these various movements together because we all really fighting the same enemy, you know, in a certain sense, you know. So that was really powerful. Then we had a major victory for NYCHA. The blueprint was not defeated, but you know, we put a pause on it. It was supposed to go up for the session, you know, and we had, I guess, Kavanaugh is his name, got beat up at one of those meetings of the Residents to Protect Public Housing, of which Kristen's a part of. I would like to be a part of, in a sense, with Justice For All we are, but we also take during the same time, so we can't always make those meetings. But you know, it was a lot of work being done, and I know for myself, the week was spent going in nice developments, and we were going to actually have a bus leave from Queensbridge to go to Albany on the 7th. And then we got the word that they were not going to bring it to session, you know, so we canceled the bus trip. But we're still going out there for a day of rage, you know. So we asking everybody who's participating in this show or watching the show, please show up on the 10th at 10:30 at Foley Square, you know, so we can really show the city and show the world, you know, what NYCHA residents really feel about this blueprint. And we're so glad that it got defeated.
And we got to shout out all the organizations and all the residents that took part in this. You know,
it
wasn't one single, you know, fight, because the people have been fighting for years. Some people are new into this movement, and some people are veterans in it. But with that said, collectively, we all got it done, as well as you and everybody. One NYCHA as well, right?
Absolutely. We definitely did our part. And you know, I know Cav was part of it with the Asian tenants, and just a lot of organizations coming together. You know, so it was a collective effort. Homes Isaacs, Justice for All, Seekers involved as well. I see them promoting it. You know, so it's a collaborative effort of a lot of effort.
Take root justice,
right? So it's just
our attorneys.
It feels good. You know, that a lot of organizations can come together. You know, because no one organization is going to be able to do this by itself. No one person is way too big, you know. So when we all come together, we can really flex our muscles.
It's a longevity fight.
Absolutely.
You need sustaability, and that's why you need bodies.
Absolutely.
That's what organizing is about,
that's
right, brother?
Right. So if people show up, I don't know if we had to fly, but it's going to be
we'll get it up later.
We'll show you guys later. But come show up, show out.
Big shout out to Brendan Temple in the building. I see you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then last but not least,
and she wished you a happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you, Brenda. Thank you. We have a community meeting coming up on the 16th of June. It's going to be in Astoria houses, where they're building up so many high-rise developments around Astoria, but there's no real money and funding going into the development itself. You know, so we're going to shed light on that and bring the residents together and really empower them and really fight. And unfortunately, that particular resident council president is for the blueprint. You know, and I also found out the resident council president of Ravenswood is for the blueprint. You know, so I have a meeting with her on Tuesday to kind of discuss it, you know. And I know there's always the question of agents or organizations, as well as the resident council presidents. How do we all work together? So we're gonna attempt to do that on Tuesday. You know, she's for it, I'm against it. Some of her board members were for it because they listened to her, but then when they heard the explanation of why the blueprint is very risky and will absolutely lead to privatism, then she said she wanted to call a meeting. So, you know, we're gonna have that meeting on Tuesday, and hopefully I can change her mind about the blueprint, and we can move forward and just continue to crush this bill before it ever gets to the floor.
Funny Mike, how was your week?
Only if we had like a whole crowd right here. I'd be like, y'all know how my week was? They'd be like, oh, you know, it was smooth. It was type smooth.
Smooth by.
Yeah, it was smooth. But I don't know if I mentioned, I know I told you guys, but I finished I got my bachelor's.
Congratulations.
Hey, congratulations.
Yes, my brother. You
All
in
right.
good shape with us.
You're a college graduate.
Yes, all right.
Yes,
You in the
beautiful.
league, right?
Beautiful, beautiful.
Right? I feel like I'm
Happy for
something
you.
right now.
Yeah.
You know? I'm over here thinking about
You
which ring I should get.
educated.
Oh,
Yes,
I
there you
know,
go.
that's right. Education.
Congratulations.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
No, congratulations, because that's first of all, that's a major achievement.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
We're doing big things.
I know I do want to get my master's in theology,
Yeah.
but I'm over here like, oh,
Yeah,
which
don't-
master's should I
Divinity,
get
yeah.
first? Because I
Well,
do want more than one master's degree.
Okay.
I want to
yeah, don't take that lightly. Like you
Yeah.
did your thing.
That's a
Yeah.
beautiful thing. Congratulations.
Yeah.
My
Right.
aunt always told me education make you unfit to be a slave. So
Mm,
gotta sit
powerful.
there and get that.
That's right.
Makes
Gotta
you
keep that
unfit to be a
knowledge.
slave. I
Mm.
love that.
Yeah.
There's some
Knowledge is
truth.
power.
And you know, happy birthday to Stan too from me.
Word up.
Yeah.
Word up.
Getting older.
The old dude.
the elder statesman of the
Yeah.
show here. I'm older than everybody here. So
Who's that? Oh, hold on. Sorry.
Wait a
guys.
minute. You putting on a whole lot of stuff. You
Yeah,
playing around, huh?
no,
Okay.
I'm
That's the one you wanted to put in?
I've been working on it, but
Okay.
y'all keep going.
Okay. We ready for, are we ready for,
What?
our,
Yeah.
ready for our guest?
Take it away.
Okay, so
If I
right,
can stop that
yeah,
from
you gotta
happening.
stop that. So right now, Rock is playing on the board.
It
This
ain't
is
even me.
engineering. This is engineering 101. I'm gonna have to spank him.
I'm trying to figure out why is
Look, everybody, meeting after the show.
why is she coming through like that?
I don't know.
That page, probably.
That's actually my yeah,
you,
that's my
Miss
video
Carolyn
for the
Maloney.
past. No, that's the other video that I did. But anyway, let's talk about our guest that we have here. You can't stop it.
Oh, wait. I need 1 second.
You need a
y'all.
second, y'all. Sorry
Let
about
me
that.
find out why. Look at this. Oh, okay.
You
I
got
see
a
what's
lot. You
happening.
got a lot open.
All right, I see what's going on. Okay. All right. This
All
the
right.
previous
yeah,
one.
we're done with the technical. We got it. We got
All
it
right.
together.
Okay.
Go.
All right. So yes, everyone, I just want to I'm thankful to have our guest here today, Marvin Mayfield. He's a dynamic guy, an activist, organizer. We come from the AME Zion Church. If you know about the AME Zion Church, that's called the Freedom Church, right? So that's we are real organizers and activists. We really are out there in the field doing things. And I'm just going to let him speak and say what the work that he's doing right now and tell them about the clean slate and let them know how we can participate in it. I'm going to also make sure it's a call to action, if not tonight, by tomorrow, so people can reach out to the legislators. So take it away, Marvin, and welcome, my brother.
Thank you, my sister. Can I be heard?
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
All right. Well, good afternoon to everyone. Good afternoon, my sister Saundrea. So good to see you. Thank you for the invitation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she said, that we come from the AME Zion Church. And if y'all don't know, right, she's a preacher in that church too. So I was like, not surprised that she could keep the flow going. So listen, y'all in good company. And congratulations, brother, on your degree. Congratulations. Quite an accomplishment, man.
Thank you.
I feel it for you. Thank you. Congratulations and happy birthday, Stan. So
Thank you, brother. Thank you. I appreciate it.
yeah. Well, thank you everybody for letting me be here today. I'm just going to take a few minutes of your time, but like Saundrea said, my name is Marvin. I'm Marvin Mayfield. I am the lead statewide organizer with the Center for Community Alternatives, also known as CCA. Well, at CCA, we support and build power with people who have been directly impacted by systems of criminalization and incarcerations, along with working with their families. I'm talking about people who have been, traumatized, communities that have been devastated by incarceration. We work with the formerly incarcerated and to build power with them and get their voices into activism, into organizing, because we know that, no power structure, no oppressor has ever been, they have never given up power. Power must be taken by might and by right. And this is why we fight. And this is why we organize the voices of those who have been directly impacted, because there's no stronger voice than those who know and have experienced it and said they're not going to take it anymore. So this is the people that we work with. So today I'm here specifically, well, maybe not just specifically, but mainly about the clean slate. As Saundrea said, she was at a rally with us last week where we were out there, raising our voices and demanding that New Yorkers have a fair chance to not only just to live, right, but to thrive, to get good paying jobs, to have housing in places where they can raise their family safely and have choices and gain housing and jobs, because people have been denied because of negative background checks and because of a criminal conviction record, right? So this is what the Clean Slate campaign is really about. It is to seal and expunge conviction records for people who have been or returning citizens coming from jails and prisons and have been facing all these barriers, you know. So the power structure will always tell you, hey, well, why don't you pull yourself up by your bootstraps? But how are you going to pull yourself up by bootstraps? You don't even own a pair of boots, and nobody's going to let you in the store to get a pair. So this is the legislation that we're fighting for. Right now, there are some 2.3 million New Yorkers that have a conviction record. And out of those 2.3 million, 80% of those are Black and Latino.
Wow.
You go figure. Think about that. That's not something but that's by accident. That is by design. It is because of over policing in our communities. It is a remnant of the days of Jim Crow and slavery, and it is a direct descendant of the criminal criminal legal system. And I'm not going to say the criminal justice system because there's no justice in it, but from the criminal legal system and the proliferation of incarceration. So this is what we are addressing right now. So these people that are still facing barriers, years, decades after conviction. A person may have got a conviction record 20, 30 years ago, and when they go to apply for a job, that's the first thing that pops up, and they get denied. One of our recent members of our organization just shared at the rally that we were at last week that he was incarcerated for 29 years. 29 years, right? So, and he had been home for like 13, 14 years. And doing the right things, trying to make it. He went on. Now this is like just mind-boggling. 400 interviews over years, and 400 denials because of a criminal background check. Now you think about that. That's just a perpetual punishment going on and on and on. And we know that because of over-policing in our communities, this disproportionately harms Black and brown communities. So, this is the legacy of mass incarceration. This is the legacy of the prison industrial complex that we are saying that this is time to stop. So with this Clean Slate legislation, it's not just, no nonsense legislation that would alleviate these barriers for people. The Clean Slate is also a moral imperative, right? It's also an economic imperative, and it's a racial justice imperative that we are pushing for. So the Clean Act would do just what its title implies. It will provide a clean slate and automatically seal and expunge old conviction records once people's sentences have been completed. So, I mean, if there are any questions, Saundrea, go ahead, cut me off because I can go, right?
You preacher too, though. You forgot to leave that out. You preacher too yourself and the wife.
That's right. That's right. Wifey says hello.
Tell her hi, Edie, my sister.
Yes, indeed. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Congrats. So, how can what can they do? Like, call the legislators, write them, tweet them. Like, what's a good call to action to tell our viewership? And we know with public housing, because this is a show not just, it's about public housing, but and beyond, because we bring to our viewership a vast array of information, We also know that NYCHA residents, right, try to come home. And sometimes they can't even, get back in their apartment because of that. So what do you suggest for like a NYCHA resident that has somebody, I like to say up top, that's on their way home and, hitting the parole board or just, on their way out, and how can they advocate for their family member to be able to come home? And how can NYCHA residents, as well as, like I said, our viewership, get on board with this Clean Slate Act initiative? Help.
That's the question, Saundrea. That is the question. How do we get involved? How do you tell your story? How do you make a difference in this? Well, Right now we have like just 4 more days, right? There are only 4 more days in this to pass the Clean Slate Act this year. The legislative session will be ending on July 10th, right? And we've been rallying across the state, and if you missed it, as Saundrea said last week, we were rallying in Foley Square. And we got some coverage on pics, and I could drop some of these things in the chat, or you can, or if anybody's interested, you could get. I will leave ask Saundrea to share my email. You can get at me, and I will share everything with us. But today, I'm going to say today and all this week, right? There are 3 actions that you could take for the Clean Slate, right? The first is to call your representatives, right? And also something I want to drop on Saundrea. I don't think I could put anything in the chat here, but
you could do it later. You could engage in the chat later. That'll be fine.
Okay, great. Right. There's a system that that's already automated, right? It's called Phone to Action. Now I will drop that to you, Saundrea, so you can share it with your viewership. And this is a tool to call, to tweet, and to email your assembly members and your senators, right? It's a powerful tool, and it only takes a few minutes. So but don't worry if you've already contacted them, contact them again. With this automated system, it will tell tell the legislators that you are concerned about Clean Slate, that you support it, and you want them to vote it and pass it in this legislative session, which I would say there's only 4 more days into it. So call your leadership, call New York's leaders. The state majority leader, the Senate majority leader is Andrea Stewart-Cousins, right? Andrea Stewart-Cousins, and the Assembly Speaker is called Heastie. Now, these are, if you're not familiar with the politics of these people or what they look like, these are both Black people from who we've elected in to represent us and to support our agendas in our communities. And by virtue of the fact that we voted them in, if they don't adhere to our agenda, to the needs of the people, we can vote them out. So this is something that this is the power that we have. So you call these people, Senate Majority Stewart-Cousins and Speaker Carl Heastie, tell them to pass the Clean Slate legislation this week. And I'm just gonna give you a little maybe a preview of what you might say. Like here's a sample script. You call them up, you say, hey, blah blah blah. I'm calling today to urge New York's leaders to pass the Clean Slate Act and end at the end of this year's legislation. The Clean Slate Act would end perpetual punishment for New Yorkers with a conviction record, from employment to housing to education, and a conviction record can cause a lifetime of blocked opportunities. Just a little sample of what you might say when you call these people. So even in the chat, Saundrea, I'm going to send a little script so your readers can just read it off, right? And yeah, we're also asking you to post things on your social media networks, right? Let them know that Clean Slate needs to be passed right now, and then we are going to end the perpetual punishment of people who have conviction records. Now, out of that 2.3 million, I'm gonna raise my hand. I'm one of those 2.3 million people who was faced with barriers because of an old conviction record. So I mean, and even today, it still bothers me. It still affects me on so many different levels. If I try to get a loan, if I try to get a new job, if I try to get a new housing, everything, these records come up. So the Clean Slate legislation would seal a person's records, but not immediately. But a person has to be, has to prove themselves in some sort of way, saying that, I have been off of parole, I've been off of probation, I've been clean, I've been working toward, living properly. So for misdemeanors, to seal all your misdemeanors, it would be a year off of paper. You can't be on parole or anything like that, and then your records would be automatically sealed. Meaning that if an employer wants to hire you and it wants to do a background check, those convictions will not be visible or revealed to them. They would be sealed. And to have them expunged, which means that they will be gone from your record. It would be 3 years for a misdemeanor and 7 years. 1 year for misdemeanor and 3 years for a felony for sealing. And expungement means that these things will be removed from your record, and it would be 3 years and 7 years respectively for a misdemeanor and a felony. Now these things are vital, and New York is not creating the wheel. This legislation, this type of progressive legislation has been enacted in other states across the country, and it has leveled the playing field and made a fairer situation for people who have been faced with these barriers to employment and especially housing. So I want to thank you for that time, but I want to thank everybody for in advance for calling these legislators and letting them know that clean slate needs to be passed now. This legislation, this legislative session, and we need to get it done in 21. Let them know. Get it done in 21.
I like that.
Yes.
That's powerful because it's so needed, and so many of our people, are stuck with, this disenfranchisement, right? Of not being able to vote, can't get their apartment or home, like you said, loan, and can't even get back in public housing and so forth. Anything you want to ask, I guess, before you?
I'd like to say, are you getting any opposition? Are these elected officials not really looking to do this? Because this seems like common sense. This does not seem like something that anybody should really think that hard about. Like, why wouldn't you do it? So are you getting opposition, or are the elected officials going along with what they should be doing here?
Well, I'm going to say that there's always opposition, right? Whenever you try to pass some progressive legislation that's going to level the playing field for Black and brown people, there's always going to be some opposition, right? So we do have opposition, yes, but the thing about it is this legislation is no brainer. It's not hurting anybody. What it is helping people to re-enter, to reintegrate, and to be completely immersed into our society fiscally and every other way. But like anything, like I said, there's always some opposition, and people take things the wrong way. And I get questions like this all the time. Well, what about public safety? What about somebody if we need to know who they are, right? Well, there are mechanisms in that as well, And like I said, this is not for somebody just coming out trying to get a free ride. These are people who have been proven themselves to be supportive of their families and their communities, and have earned the right to be fully integrated into our society. But they're always bringing up this public safety thing, and I tell them, and they talk about, well, we need more police and things around that. I would say, you know what? The safest communities are not the over police communities. The safest communities are the communities that have resources. And what better resources could there be than a person being able to provide for themselves and their families? And I tell them, there are mechanisms. If a person is trying to get a job in let's say law enforcement or childcare, things like that, these background checks will still be available to them. And then they tell me, oh, well, what about a driver, a simple driver? Well, you know what? The DMV keeps abstracts of that. You can find out somebody's driving record without going to do a criminal background check. So, there are mechanisms, and people are always trying to punch holes in it. But the thing about it is, this is no nonsense legislation. It has gained a lot of momentum in the Assembly and in the Senate. And we believe that with just a little bit more push, the push from people that's listening to this podcast right now, that will call our Assembly members, that will call our senators and say, hey, push this past the finish line, we can get it done this year.
Amen.
Wow. Amen. Powerful.
I agree.
I'm in total support of that. Folks need a second chance, a clean slate. They've done their time. They shouldn't be punished for the rest of your life.
Right.
That's right.
That makes no sense. I agree 100% with you. It makes perfect sense to me.
You have my support. I tell you that one. I mean, I'm one person that actually can agree with. People should have a second chance. I mean, especially by these judges that sit in God we trust.
Yeah. Don't go there.
I believe that everybody deserves a second chance. I mean, this system's supposed to be about rehabilitation instead of retribution.
Got a young warrior here.
But I want to ask. I mean, I agree with it 100%. But what about people that actually that's incarcerated, that don't have the chance of coming home at all? Like I know people can say that actually have the eligibility of parole in the month 99, the day 99, and the year 9999. That's never going to come in. I mean, there's no such thing as a month 99 anyway. So I mean, that means they not eligible for parole at all. I mean, and is that even some sort of rehabilitation if they can't have the opportunity to come home?
And Mike, can I talk to that, Mike?
Right. Yeah.
I'd be happy to. At CCA, right? Clean Slate is just one of the initiatives that we're working on. The other one is parole justice, right? Which which covers fair and timely parole and elder parole, right? And you're right. You know, these are like life sentences. These life sentences without parole just have been disproportionately handed down to Black people, Black and brown people in our communities. Now, the overall population of New York State's prisons has decreased. But what's interesting about that, it is the same demographic. The same people are being incarcerated, right? And the majority of those people are Black and brown people from 7 neighborhoods in New York City, 7 underprivileged, underpowered, and overpoliced neighborhoods, right? That make up almost 90% of the people who have been incarcerated in this city. So parole is just one of those issues, right? Well, where we are fighting to make sure that people do have the opportunity to get parole and to end the cycle of death by incarceration. So that's another issue that we're fighting for as well as CCA.
Wow.
That's powerful, brother. We wish you all the best in your work. Glad to have you on this platform to share it. It sounds like common sense legislation to me.
Yeah, it's simple.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. And don't forget, call those legislators. Get this passed. Get it done in 21.
I'm gonna tag you, shared a video with you, and so you can engage with the people, the viewership. And also, if you could shoot me an email with the script, because I could craft the call to action for tomorrow night. I was gonna do it for tonight, but I'll make sure it's for Monday night, and we'll do it Monday, Tuesday, and I think it was the 10th on Wednesday. When is the 10th? What? Because it's 4 more days, or is it Thursday? Okay.
Yes, on the 10th.
I'll make sure it's a call. I'll make sure it's a call to action every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, up to the day of legislation. Okay, at UES for BLM, and
Thank you.
Share it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll send it to. I'll consider it to Sika. We have a couple of movements and groups that we can send it to for people to call, because one thing we like to do as activists and organizers is we love a good call to action. And we know how to make it happen. That's part of organizing and activism, a call to action. And this is a powerful one because it's guaranteeing proper reentry for our brothers and sisters that are coming home and giving them a chance to have a sustainable life again. If you served your time, you shouldn't have to come out and be stuck with all these doors that's closed in your face. They deserve to come home and, be viable again.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, my sister. I appreciate you. So I'm gonna sign off now. But before I go, I got one thing to say to my brother. Happy birthday to ya. Deuces.
We'll see you soon, okay? We're gonna have you back on. We want to hear about more the work you're doing.
Absolutely.
Let's stay in contact.
Right. Keep you updated on the vote. So let's see if it passes.
Okay.
We can do it. Peace, everyone. Peace. God bless.
Thank you, brother. All right.
So now we have
I just want to hit the chat room real quick. Big shout out to Michelle Graham. She said, "What's popping?" So that's Mitchell Graham. Sorry, Mitchell Graham. What's popping, brother? We'll be hanging in there.
Yeah.
All right. So what do we got going on, Stan?
Yeah, so we have a city council candidate, I believe, from the Canarsie section of Brooklyn. Met up with my friend Quasar, who's a part of the Urban Knights, and definitely wanted to have her come on the show and speak about her agenda for NYCHA. What NYCHA developments would you be representing when you're there, and just want to hear your platform. What is your platform, and what do you want to say to our viewership?
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity. My name is Mercedes Narcisse, and yes, I am a candidate for New York City Council District 46, which cover Canarsie, Flatlands, Bergen Beach, Mill Basin, Mill Island, Marine Park, Garrison Beach, and Sheepshead Bay. The two area that I cover, it's Bayview houses and Sheepshead Bay.
Okay.
I'm very familiar with the houses, by the way, because as a nurse for over 30 years, been in national houses serving the seniors and anyone else that needed my help as a visiting nurse services. What to say about NYCHA? Bothers me every morning, every time I have to go in, seeing the disrespect that attached with NYCHA. The disrespect, it's not a way that we're supposed to treat another human being. That's the way I see NYCHA.
Exactly.
when it was created, it's supposed to be a place where you can have a decent life, a clean, respectful place, just like every other places that they deserve to have services. And NYCHA don't have the services right there. And we have professional in NYCHA, many professional in NYCHA.
Nice.
It is so unfortunate that when it comes to us living in places, they feel like it's just like they can do whatever they want. They're not addressing the issues. And we're talking about for years, NYCHA been like this.
Decades.
For decades. And ever since the formation of NYCHA back in 1937, what have they done actually for NYCHA houses? And when even right now, I'm saying to myself, how in all these years that we've been elected people over and over, and no one want to address real issue of NYCHA.
Right.
And as a reentry nurse, listening to my client having a hard time just because whatever the issue may be, minor things,
right,
with marijuana and all, they cannot even come back to NYCHA houses.
Right.
It's heartbreaking for me.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, heartbreaking for me. So I have a lot of different issues that need to be addressed. And with my, with the support of others that have been doing the work, and I have a lot of friends that live in NYCHA, I believe greatly that we'll make some changes, move the needle. It is a federal, but yet as a city person, as a city council member, we have the voice, we have the ability, we can amplify, we can right now when they called me for cabinet falling, I take videos and I'm looking, if you see a tape that I have, NYCHA is very important to me. That's the reason I'm here.
Wow.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Saundrea, one of the co-hosts, and welcome again to the show. So with the history of public housing, because we know it derives from the tenements, and we know that originally it was Caucasian people that actually were moving into the first buildings and so forth. And then we know that the white flight took place, and then more Black and brown people moved into public housing, not just in New York City, but throughout the country. And that's when we seen the disinvestment. So as a city council, member of the city council, how would you help combat some of this systemic issues with public housing, from even some of their policies have to be challenged, like the call letter that they sent out. They have a caption on there that says, is it non-desirability? Non-desirable. That's a racist term.
Absolutely.
And I spoke about it with Councilmember Ben Kalos at his first Friday, and it's something that I want to work on the challenge, but I know he'll be on his way out. And if you get elected, you'll be on your way in, because we have to not just change the way they treat us. We have to change the way their documents read. You know what I mean? That's systemic. That's a racist term.
Yeah. Yes.
But go ahead. How would you be able to help?
We need to eradicate any term that is not for our progress. Anything, any wording. We have to pay attention. What I have learned through Malcolm X is we have to learn, when people say word, and we have people in place that can change the word. And the wording mean a lot. When we're talking about systemic racism, this is how it's sitting. We accept one word, and the next thing you know, it becomes a whole sentence and a whole paragraph, and your life's changed, your life turned. And it's for years, for decades, before we can eradicate those words and change the legislation in place. So I'm here to serve in every capacity I can. And one of the things that I'm looking forward to expand right to council, to explain to people what they have, what's their right in the system is, and trying to get lawyers, legal services to expand them in our myth, because a lot of people don't even know their right, even in NYCHA. So we need more legal services to come around our area, for which I have to, I'm gonna push for mobile units. In the meanwhile, while we collaboratively put things in NYCHA, we have to use the space in NYCHA. We have to build NYCHA out. First, we have to clean NYCHA. We have to clean the garbage, the things that in NYCHA got to go. The lead paint, we know about the lead paint for decades as well. And no one had, everybody talk about it, and lead paint still existing in NYCHA today and affecting our children mental capacity. That's
and
wrong.
adults
Absolutely.
And adults, of course, and adults.
Yeah,
definitely. So that got to be done.
Yeah.
And pick up garbage is going to be a must.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be done in a cycle. And then we need to have transparency, the plan, when to pick up, how it happened, and making sure the disposition of, when you the disposal of garbage should not be in the hallway. And the cleaning have to have a cleaning plan with transparency to know how often they clean the hallway. Don't blame the people while you pick up garbage like every 2 weeks. And then you don't clean, you clean whenever you want. How many staff on really actually cleaning? What's the housing, the housing, the cleanliness, the clean staff? How many do you actually have? Don't tell me you clean whenever you feel like. And if you have one staff cleaning the whole of one building, you know it's not gonna happen.
Right.
So those are the things that we have to be clear about. And another thing I'm looking forward to do is to work with the tenants themselves to know that they have the right to speak. When I visited NYCHA about, I was in the building about 2 weeks ago. One of the parents afraid of talking because they're gonna retaliate against her.
Right.
That's America we're talking about. So how a tenant, because speaking the truth of her kids don't even have no place to go. And then you don't want them to run the staircase to play. And the center that's supposed to be inside NYCHA. We can have the city within NYCHA and everything can be functional within NYCHA. We're talking about public health is a problem for me. We don't have no centers in there within NYCHA. People don't have no direct transportation access to get to the clinics or to the hospital that serve us. And they were way underfunded anyway. We need to have fun for that. And then we can have them right here, in NYCHA houses. Yeah. We can have sports for our children.
Yes.
You're right. Yes. And years ago, because I grew up in McKinley houses, and Forest houses is across the street, and they had a health station. They have closed all of the health stations down, and I'm pretty sure they're probably still there. I know you all in Queensbridge
has one, but Ravenswood doesn't. I don't think Astoria has it.
It's just horrible. That's where I got my immunizations from, and So and you could take your child there, and it was you didn't have to pay car fare. We walked across the street, and they did all of this, and everything is about funding. So what we need is city council members, because we know so many are leaving, and they call it the rookies are coming in. A lot of new council members. But it's what it is, right?
It is what it is.
That's what y'all will be called. Some of y'all that are coming in, but we're hoping that y'all could come in and make a big impact for public housing. Help stir some funding. Help, like Councilmember Ben Kalos actually paid for our attorneys when we sued NYCHA. We have we have a legal clinic at his, disposal. We have counsel that we can see, the right to counsel and all that. So, and I don't know what every other city council member is doing, but I think everybody can kind of model and perfect what's already in place and even make it better for the residents. And I would say too, a great constituent services is very essential. That's very essential. And because you want to be able to, I understand people want to always have the number to your council member, but sometimes that's not going to happen. But I want to be able to call that office and get some responses back. And that's very important. Okay.
I used to work for a senator, and that's what I used to do, community liaison. And I believe in the service. And as a matter of fact, even though he's not in office anymore, John Sampson, the office is known for services. We're always in NYCHA houses. Not only as a nurse, I had to be in NYCHA houses. As working for him, he covered Bayview and Nostrand. So I had to be there all the time, talking to the people, listen and give them guidance, because some of the things can be federal, but you can give people guidance, a path where they can do where they can get the access they need. Exactly. So for me, it's building up sport for the children too. That's very important. We need to engage our children, because when we're talking about crime going back, it's a lack of services. We can scale them. Not everyone can be a doctor. Vocational school can be placed in the school that's right there by NYCHA houses. Make it accessible, making the parents engage, doing workshop, uplift each other, and then making sure the city the legislation that we're putting in place is not putting us down, but uplift us as well. And whatever the funding, the budget that we need to put. That's why I love being in the midst of people that understand what's going on. It's not that we talking about people are racist against us in total, but the racism approach that they have that put us in the box has to stop.
Right.
Yes. So now we had a big victory this past week in terms of fighting against the privatization of NYCHA with the blueprint. So we would like to know what is your position on the privatization of NYCHA? We here feel that it should remain public and it should be fully funded. And we don't want the blueprint or RAD or any of those privatization schemes. But what is your thought? Infill or any of that? So what is your
NYCHA is the only, go ahead.
No, what's up? Is it
NYCHA is the only affordable houses that we have right now.
Yep.
So we cannot afford to make it private. Anything that's private, we out.
Right.
And when I mean we out, we the one that's in the panel that's out. Our folks are out, and we cannot afford that. We need to increase, make sure the whatever the funding that we need to put in place, working with my colleagues in government, federal level, the state level, to make sure that we keep the Section 8 moving up, not down, to keep up with the market, to keep people in the place. But with our responsibility, we owe it to our community. When the parents cannot or someone cannot, that's the time to uplift them, not putting our foot or our knee on their neck. And that's what I'm I'm so excited for the opportunity, because a lot of things we're not talking, we're not addressing, we don't want to touch it for whatever the reason. We have to talk about it. We have to make sure that legislation that goes, whether in the city level, the state level, the federal level, it's to to support us, to uplift us.
Right.
That's what I'm here.
That's a fact.
That can make the difference.
NYCHA is the only affordable.
Only true affordable,
yeah.
30%, yeah. Yeah.
So now,
No roommate needed, as I like to say. No roommate needed, because that's how a lot of people are living throughout the city. They're bungled up with people because they can't afford. They're splitting the rent. You know, or buy 3 or 2. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You know, but there you could be on your own.
That's right. I have parents right now, people that have 4 children. They have their mother-in-law, father-in-law in 2-bedroom.
Yeah.
And we know overcrowded. What happened with COVID?
Yeah.
COVID-19, it was overcrowded. That's why in NYCHA, so many of our people end up, die because of the space they don't have. Before we come up with the hotel plan, in the meanwhile, people were infected each other because of the space.
Yeah.
So
Going
now,
right back to the history of tenements. That's why NYCHA was built, because it was no light. It was overcrowding in the tenements, and that's why NYCHA public house was built. Yeah,
bad infested and all of that.
Yeah. And it's taking us back now.
Yeah, we're going backwards.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So
and
now,
we cannot afford to go backward.
Right.
After this, after George Floyd era, all this, open our eyes, and we have to stay on it, at it, for the changes that we want to make in our community.
Preach.
Yes.
So now,
it highlighted the problems that we've been facing.
So now the homeless crisis is definitely on the rise as well. So what would you do to address the homeless crisis in your district?
20% set aside for the homeless. Definitely. We cannot even afford 15. We need to increase it, because we see what's happened with the gap that we're having. We're talking about, when we talk about an income gap, the pandemic really highlighted the problems that we're facing.
Yeah.
So now we need 20% set aside, and any new development that coming to our community have to know that. And then we have to, AMI have to reflect our community.
There you
and
go.
Every 5 years it has to be reassessed.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah, we have to reassess things. We cannot put things in the book for years because you're serving the lower income individual. The lower income individual want to come out of lower income individual. I haven't seen anyone that told me they want to stay in the lower income.
Right.
I'm trying to get out.
Yeah.
Nah, but it's
true.
I liked everything she's saying.
And is there any other things you want to highlight from your platform? Education, any other issues you want to
healthcare, preventive care. I have been doing it with small resources that I have. My husband is a gastroenterologist. We've been doing health fair. We're doing different things. I reach out to NYCHA houses. I'm always in there giving flyers, trying to get people to my place. So you can ask them. I'm always there. You want to come for a health fair? Let's go, and encourage the kids thinking about. And now more than ever, we need to make sure that we have farmers market coming by NYCHA houses because we can benefit from it.
We have it on our east side. You know why? Our public housing. It's there.
But not everywhere else.
Yeah, we have it.
We know what's going on. Like I tell people, I know what time is it. I've been around it long enough. So now we need to have farmers market. We need to educate our children. And as a single mom, at one point of my life, I had to cook for my kids with $10. So we need to have the workshop talking about the parents, the importance of cooking for their kids instead of sending them to McDonald's, getting the food that they should not be getting. I'm not knocking no fast food. Sometimes you have to do it, but we should not raising our kids because we cannot afford this. We have to have farmers market, make it easier. Having voucher, food stamp should not be something attached with stigma because sometimes you need a little break to get yourself up. Right. Those are all the things that we need to have the real conversation around it. And you're gonna see me in NYCHA day in and day out because like I tell people, I'm starting from the bottom up. And
environmental justice. Yeah.
You need a break.
Environmental justice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Powerful. Yeah.
Now, how can folks donate to your campaign? How can people donate and support?
www.mercedesfornyc.com. That's my website. And our phone number is 347-455-2119. And I'm excited for the opportunity. Like I told all my young men in NYCHA houses, we're gonna have real conversation. And during campaign, my manager, Dr. Zolima Blair, which is a professor at Mega, we go over there with our website, with our computer, laptop, trying to get our young men know there is option. You can vote, you can make your voice be heard. Don't let people, tell you this is where you belong. You belong where you want to belong. We're gonna have to do it together. And when I get there, believe me, they listen to me because they realize, this coming from a place of love. I'm not here to put you down. I'm here to work with you. And that's why we need more in government that has to be run by the people for the people. We can collaboratively work together.
There you go.
Great. You're
talking the talk. That's good. I like it.
Yeah, been doing it. And I have learned because I don't come with a silver spoon. I have to work 3 jobs and trying to provide for my children. Like I said, there's one time I had to put them, on a strict diet before they knew it because I had to cook, every night and trying to make it the best I can to survive it. Because economically, you have to make sense with yourself. Know where, like my grandmother would say, know where to put your bag, to hang your bag. When you cannot hang it, you have to struggle and hustle. And I know the struggles. I live the struggles. It's not new to me. And that's the reason that whenever I get in NYCHA, when I see that, as a nurse, I used to get very upset because I'm saying like, this is my people. This is where I belong. This is where I can relate. And look at this. Yeah. And I'm here. I'm excited. And we're gonna clean NYCHA. I'm gonna start with my own broom and let them know this is how we want it.
Go ahead.
How we want it.
I like that.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
And it would be a blessing too for you to be in that class, that rookie class, and get elected, because as a nurse, you know about empathy, right? So that's something that a lot of people don't understand. Like you just said, I'm going to come in with my broom, but because of your background, your medical background as a nurse, as a professional, you're going to bring a whole different lens for people to see through for public housing as well as the city, right? And it will be an asset, not just to NYCHA, but throughout the whole city. Have
Absolutely.
us eating better and living better, looking better. Health is
everything.
Health is life. Yeah,
everything. When during the height of the pandemic, when I was delivering food and trying to do my best, and I started taking my broom too, get my team to clean up all the area by NYCHA houses, the strip mall that was right across. It was so dirty. I could create the team and we keep going there and cleaning myself. I start with the broom myself. Like I tell people, you cannot tell me I'm cleaning. We all got to clean. Let's clean. So I have done it.
Push back on that? Did management push back on you out there cleaning?
No, I was cleaning at the front part. And I didn't go inside of the NYCHA, and we did all the strip mall where people, folks from NYCHA cross over to shop, and it
Okay.
was dirty, it was filthy. You know how many people called me to tell me thank you?
Wow.
And then I go to NYSHA complaining to them. And I say, if they don't clean, I'm gonna call 311 on them, because that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I get them to pick up some of the garbage because it was piling up.
Yeah.
And the thing was, it's the pandemic. Yes, we are in the pandemic, but we don't have to be under all the garbage.
Right. Because during Earth Week, we were out there picking up for a couple of hours garbage on the grounds, and management was upset that residents and groups of us was out there with our garbage bag cleaning up on a Monday.
Insanity.
Yeah.
And guess what? When I'm elected, they're not gonna be able to be upset with me, because they gotta do their job. If they let me come in with my broom, that's when you're not doing your job.
Facts. Wow.
Wow. Okay. Is there any last comments before we sign off? Anything you want to say? Closing remarks to the viewership.
What I'm saying is, the people, the folks that live in NYSHA just need a little uplift, a little hand. Let's do the right thing by the folks that live in NYSHA, because we could have been there. And it just, we get different opportunity, and we need to create more opportunity for others. We need to keep the doors open. And that's what I'm here. And I'm here to serve not only NYSHA houses. I believe in general, our children need opportunity for good sport, good academic programs after school, and making sure that our children have the right nutrition when it comes to their meal in the school. That's how we can make the difference and encourage them to participate more in the classroom. We need the class size not to be packing our children, but to make it a class where the teachers can function and making sure giving the attention that needed to our children. So I'm here to serve. And in terms of education, I greatly believe that's the opportunity for most of us, because we're not millionaires or billionaires. Pushing for more opportunity for our children to know how to get to college. If they don't want to go to college, how we can get skilled and reskill, and how to get vocational school within our school building, creating opportunity. And I truly believe our kids are very smart. I raised 4 myself, and I know that for a fact, and I raise all around all my blocks. So we have a chance to do the right thing. And once the children are educated well, they're gonna go back home, and they will not take and accept anything that people give them, but they will create their ways, and they will make sure that it's clean. So we're gonna do it together in NYSHA. We're gonna do it together in our community. I'm here to serve, and I'm looking for the opportunity. And on June 12th, which is Saturday coming, will be a primary election starting early voting. I'm hoping that, I'm praying that everybody understands and can check me out. My record stands for itself and speaks for itself. My path of working and doing things in the community, whether it's Sandy, Irene, I never forget where I came from. So that's where I always fully participate. So I'm looking forward for the vote on June 12th to the 20th, all the way to the 20th, and 22nd is the day off. And I'm looking to be the next city council member, and not to be standing for power, but I believe in the government for the people, by the people. So let's do it together. We can do it. I believe in it.
Woo!
Wow. Okay.
You close that down, right?
That was great. That was great.
Thank you.
Great to have you. Thank you.
Thanks for coming on. And
please comment in the comment section, and share the video, and we'll follow back up with you.
After you win, we're gonna want you to come back on.
Of course,
and talk about your work.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Awesome.
Wow. Powerful show today.
That was a lot.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed today.
Yeah, we hit two that's
the first time. Did we do that?
Yeah.
That's the first time we never did that before, right?
No, it was a good split.
Yeah.
It was a good split.
Yeah.
So you guys ready to punch out?
Yeah. So everybody,
any hint for next week?
Oh, do y'all want to know?
We do a little hint.
I just somebody's locked and loaded.
You gotta say
somebody's locked and loaded.
Taste.
Somebody is locked and loaded. And just keep in prayer that they stay with us, but it's locked and confirmed. Chuck Schumer will be on next week.
Chuck Schumer.
Senator
Chuck Schumer.
My man Chuck?
Yeah.
That's national now. That puts us on a national platform.
Whoa.
That's big. That's big.
We get music and everything.
All right, wow.
They've been locked in. That's the date they said. So
okay. Well, you know what? Big deal.
One night, you're one people.
One night, you're one people. You're gonna punch
We ready to
out.
lift off. Thank you for tuning in.
All right.